cooperating. So we just went ahead and sliced our onion with the good old Sawzall there. It's day 3. Back on the Camaro Z28 project. Today we're going to be tackling the front suspension. We got pretty much all the major arms up front, the complete coil spring assembly, coil spring, the strut itself, upper control arm, lower control arm. I'm going to be knocking all that out today. It's going to make the front end ride and feel like new. It's going to be amazing. So, let's begin. We got it here on the lower bolt to 15. Break it loose with the wrench there and move on and taking it off. You're gonna do the old wrench on wrench trick. Nice. Moving on to the front control arm. Old mechanic trick, you can bang on the upper bushing to help loosen up those threads. There we go. Nice, that bolt did not bite me at all. It's always nice when that happens. There we go. Both sides, so it popped loose. Got it. Should be going towards the front of the car. Nice. Success on the tie rod there. Let's get this guy. Pop him out. Success. That is nasty. Ultra nasty.
It's good.
Yeah, it's mostly surface rust.
For now anyways. Yeah.
Alright, so yesterday the camera battery died while I was working on the passenger side. So I got that all wrapped up, finished up. There's music playing behind me, so I'm going to talk pretty fast. And then, so we're just going to continue on here on the driver's side. I'll show you guys how that's done. Jeez.
That body leverage. This car could do that.
I don't want to use the impact because I don't want to tighten it down too much. It's going to need to be able to flex so I can set the spindle to it a lot easier. And I can tighten it once it's on the car. Not the easiest way to tighten it, but it's doable. So, like you just saw, we're taking care of the front brakes right now. We're going to be swapping out the front calipers, front rotors, and the front pads, as well as the front brake hoses since they're rubber. The car's been sitting for a really long time. It's had some water sit under it like a light flood. So we definitely want to go through all the critical components that can rust out and fail, whether that's internally or externally when it comes to the calipers. Now if you're wondering where we got all these parts, rockauto.com. No, this isn't a sponsored video or sponsored ad, but hey, Rock Auto, if you're watching and listening, hit your boy up. We'd love to work together. Put the rotor on, I'm gonna put it on, and I'll secure it with the lug nut, like so. That way it's not flopping around all over me. Important with your calipers, when you're putting them on, you always want to make sure you have the proper side. The bleeder, always on top. Which means this is the wrong bleeder. Wrong caliper for this side because it's pointing down, so that's the opposite side. Got the other side here, so now orient the caliper. It's going to sit on the rotor like that. Bleeder's on top. That's the right side. Don't want to break it. Last thing you want is your caliper to get loose. Success. There we go. Oh, sorry guys, I put it on before I hit record. Alright folks, pretty much got the front brakes, all the hydraulics done. New calipers, new pads, new rotors, new brake lines, all up front, on top of our complete new strut, coil spring assemblies, new upper control arms, new lower control arms, and our tire rods, which we need to do still, and we need to get silver end links. But pretty much everything major up front is done. So you guys might be wondering why last video I was covered in sweat and sunglasses and a tee, and this video I'm in a beanie and a long sleeve and it's cold. Because Texas, that's why. Anyway, we're working on the rear brakes. Got the other side already slapped together. There's no point in showing you the same thing twice. So we're gonna go over on the passenger side, which is ironically enough the side that has a frozen caliper bolt that is being a royal pain in the arse. Let's begin. So the bolt in question is the lower caliper bracket bolt down here. I'd show you, but the camera's already on the tripod and we'll get to that. Lower arm hits the gun. This is where just height comes in handy. Try jacking it up more. That's not enough room.
There you go. Fucking whole cane. Oh, whole cane.
Sweet. Only from yours truly. Remember kids, when putting on new rotors, and men,
Grease.
they come pre-greased so they don't rust on the package and on the shelf. The grease
Show them the rest.
is flammable. This doesn't happen on the shelf. You just want to clean it off with some acetone or brake clean if you don't have any of that.
Sulfur.
If you don't remember, we're doing new brake hoses as well as the rotors, pads, calipers, and back here we already did the shocks. Front we already did the struts, coil springs, so all new brakes, suspension all the way around. It's gonna ride and feel like new. It's gonna be great.
Excess. I'm starting saying that. Excess.
Lines themselves are actually keyed to go in a certain way. So you see it's got a small notch on top and a wide notch on bottom. And the receptacle hole will have the same thing. Make sure it lines up so your line slides in all the way. That way your brakes continue to operate as they should because your line's not shifting. Back in place. Alright, line's installed. So I like to match up my rotors to make sure they're right, like this. This gives you the face, so the hub. Make sure it's the right bolt pattern or lug pattern, however you're looking, you want to call it. And this all lines up perfectly. See the base down here lines up, and the general diameter lines up. Turn it around, do the same thing with the back side. And you see it all lines up, so we know it's the same exact rotor, so we're good to go. I want to point out something about these rotors. Obviously it's been sitting for a while, but you can tell by the way that these are worn that when it was working, the inner pad was holding pressure against the rotor, and that's where you get these heat rings.
So no brakes.
Grinding into it. So the back calipers were already seized up, so it's a good thing we're getting these replaced.
In a nice, pretty fucking way. Yeah.
One silver one, one black one. Yeah, the other side was silver, if you guys remember a couple seconds ago, and now it's black. You can see the old boy here. Definitely was time for that to go.
That looks pretty good, if you ask me.
Oh yeah, baby, yeah. Just apply. Boy. I am done with the brakes and suspension. So officially this car is running on pretty much an all new chassis, not chassis, but chassis components at this point. So we have completely new front suspension, rear shocks, all new front brakes, calipers, rotors, pads, brake lines, front and rear. So it's a completely new suspension and braking system, and should feel completely different, like a whole new car. So I'm really excited. Right now I'm waiting on some brake fluid. The jug that we had on hand had been sitting around for a year, or past a year, and it's already been opened. So it's a little tidbit that's no longer good. So if you've got brake fluid that's been sitting around any longer than 12 months, especially on an open container, go ahead and throw it out, discard it, get rid of it, get you some new one. Brake fluid is a hygroscopic fluid, which means it absorbs the moisture in the air, which is why you want to flush your fluid normally, just like you don't want to keep it on the shelf in your garage, your house, your store, wherever else too long, because it loses its value. I made a mess. Wow, I made a mess. Good Lord.
What?
I made a mess.
Oh, yeah.
I promise, I usually pour better than that.
You got too many swimmers there, do you?
So I can't fit in these seats. I'll be doing two styles of brake bleeding here. So we're going to start with your standard old school gravity bleed. It's where you get the wheels off the ground, put fluid in there, crack the bleeders, starting with the one furthest away from the master cylinder. That'll be the passenger rear. Also, most cars, especially GMs, but every car has a specific brake bleed sequence.
It's like fucking firing motor.
Yeah. most cars you start at the caliper furthest away from the master cylinder. Most cars, most American cars, will be the passenger rear. On GMs, you move from the passenger rear in a C that goes around to the cosas, right here. So you start at the passenger rear, so it's kind of like an X, and then you go to the driver rear, and then passenger front, and then you end at the driver front. And that's a proper bleed sequence for most GM vehicles. We are all done with the brakes and the suspension. I'm back at the house. You can hear the shower running in back. So I'm just wrapping this video up for you guys. A lot of work, but it felt really good. The brake pedal feels amazing. It's very firm, holds position like it should. So the brakes are going to feel brand new because they're all 100% brand new brakes. The only thing we didn't change was the master cylinder. But new calipers up front, new calipers in the rear, new pads all the way around, new rotors all the way around, new brake hoses all the way around. So all new braking system for the most part. Suspension, complete coil and strut assembly up front. New upper control arms, new lower control arms, new inner and outer tie rods, new sway bar end links. So it's new shocks in the rear. Completely overhauled the suspension and the brakes. Up next, we're moving on to long tube headers that we got. Then we're going to be taking care of coolant temp sensor, the thermostat, and that should be summing it up. So Camaro project coming together really well, Super stoked to be able to take it out for the first rip and see what it really feels like. Oh, and we did find a Camaro donor with stock seats, so hopefully we can get our hands on that so we can get the stock seats and rails back in that thing. Anyway, thanks again for checking this video out. I really do appreciate it. Drop me a comment below. And, remember to subscribe, like this video. We'll catch you guys next time. Remember to go out there, do something awesome. Peace.